Hey there, I'm Raquel Richards, and this is What Are You Drinking? The pod on alcohol. I'm Raquel Richards, and this is What Are You Drinking? The pod on alcohol. The podcast is for entertainment purposes only. Please drink responsibly. Have you ever had a neighbor that's all up in your business and everyone else's? I've had a couple of them. I believe we've all encountered a bad neighbor. I've got the perfect solution for you. Or for this neighbor, should you be so kind to give them a hint and a beer. Naughty Neighbor American Style Pale Ale by Nickelbrook Brewing Company. Drop that at their door. Nickelbrook is straight out of Burlington, Ontario, a small Canadian town that's become a hotbed of craft beer magic. You've got to give credit to Burlington for contributing to the awesome Canadian beer culture with its amazing breweries and brew pubs. Now let's talk about this brew's incredible reputation. Naughty Neighbor, it caused a commotion at the LCBO when it was first released. It was the beer that was so naughty, it had to change its packaging in order to be sold at the LCBO. Well, I suspect so. This Naughty Neighbor American Style Pale Ale is a force to be reckoned with, packing a punch of flavor and a mischievous spirit that will surely leave a smile on your face. So next time your neighbors start giving you the stink eye, side eye, why not surprise them with a taste of Naughty Neighbor? Maybe it'll bring some laughter, lighten the mood, and who knows, they might even become your partners in craft beer exploration. Cheers to good times, great beer, and turning those naughty neighbors into happy pals. Maybe. Some neighbors you just can't please. Naughty Neighbor American Style Pale Ale contains lively notes of citrus and pine. It's like a burst of sunshine on a hot summer day. Now, I have to be honest here. I'm not usually the biggest fan of pale ales, but let me tell you, Naughty Neighbor had me at the initial taste of citrus and pine. It was a flavor explosion. Now, here comes the twist. The finish has a malty, hoppy, and slightly bitter kick that didn't quite jive with my taste buds. You know that face you make when something surprises you? Yeah, that was me. But here's the thing. With every sip, this mischievous brew grew on me. It's like Nickelbrook took a risk and created something daringly different, yet still had that familiar pale ale charm. The copper color, they call it lemon drop. The fruity style combined with the bitter aftertaste is definitely a naughty combination for true pale ale enthusiasts. Now let's dive into some beer knowledge. Did you know that pale ales come in various substyles? One of them is the American Pale Ale, also known as APA, which happens to be the very essence of Nickelbrook's Naughty Neighbor. These American pale ales often boast a bold hop character, showcasing those amazing American hop varieties that bring out delightful citrus and pine aromas. It's like taking your taste buds on a hop-filled adventure. Oh, and here's a fun fact for you. India Pale Ales, also known as IPAs, were originally brewed with extra hops and higher alcohol content to survive those long journeys to British colonies in India. So, the taste, the profile. Pale ale originates from jolly old England, which is one of the major players in the vast realm of ale. Pale refers to the fact that this brew tends to have a lighter color compared to other ale styles. To craft this delectable beer, brewers use pale malts that have been lightly kilned or roasted. This gives pale ales their signature light color and milder flavor. We're talking about a brew that's crisp, clean, and absolutely refreshing. And let's not forget about the hops. They play a starring role in the flavor profile of pale ales, adding those lovely floral, citrusy, or earthy notes, hence the pine. Fast forward to today, the standard pale ale is brewed using pale malt. It's top fermented, just like those awesome ales out there, and lightly hopped. In fact, it's a bitter, although most people wouldn't find it bitter at all, except for me, I guess. But that's because of its very, very heavy pale ale and earthy notes to it. Now, pale ale is all about that crispness, that vibrant color, and those fantastic hop flavors. Let's get into some boozy news. Speaking of hop flavors, there are a whole bunch of hop varieties that bring a whole bunch of different flavors and aromas to the party. We're talking about hops like Cascade, Centennial, Citra, Amarillo, and Simcoe, each one with its own unique personality. Naughty Neighbor American Style Pale Ale is a cheeky nod to our neighbors, the Americans. But hey, before I dive into the beer itself and talk about what they've done now, I'm going to take you down a trip memory lane. Now, if you remember at the top, I was talking about when I worked at LCBO and about the packaging, and it caused a lot of ruckus because of its naughty packaging. Well, I'm going to tell you, the original can was all black and rocked some burlesque pin-up art of a topless woman rocking a red garter with some sassy black stockings. And to top it all off, there was a bubble text that read, "Why, hello, neighbor." So talk about a risque packaging that got the party started. No, she wasn't topless so you could see. She was holding her arms around herself. But just think of pin-up art from back in the day with Naughty Neighbor and "Why, hello, neighbor." So here's where the story gets interesting. I believe LCBO, that's the go spot to get your alcohol here in Toronto, may have thought, hey, that can't be a little too spicy for that's a little too spicy for our liking. Or better yet, and this is my guess, is that they received many complaints, just as I did when I worked there, about the can when I worked there. Women wouldn't buy it, women were offended by it. I'm a fan of pinup art. I wasn't offended by it, but I was shocked that it got through at that time. Majority of the purchasers were men, but we are talking about pale ale and American pale ale, and the majority of those drinkers happen to be male. But I personally liked the beer. I liked the packaging. I thought it was fun and cheeky and brave. But sadly, the old can with the pinup art is no more. In its place, we've got a red and white and blue can featuring an angry-looking American-style bird. Now, that's a patriotic makeover if I've ever seen one. It's all about paying homage to the USA and embracing that rebellious spirit. So they did a complete 360. And let me tell you, I absolutely adore Nickelbrook for pushing the envelope like this. They've got a motto that says, "Stay reckless, be brave." And boy, do they live up to it. They're all about bringing us bold flavors, exciting news, and a whole lot of fun. So what pairs well with a pale ale? Well, pale ales are generally crisp and refreshing, and the perfect match for that perennial British favorite is fish and chips. Who doesn't love fish and chips? And a pale ale is the perfect match for that. Aside from delicious and greasy fish and chips, I find American pale ales like Naughty Neighbor pair well with a variety of foods. The hop bitterness and flavor profile complement spicy dishes, grilled meats, burgers, seafood, and tangy cheeses. See, you don't always have to have wine. Beer can be a great pairing to a dish that you're serving. So what will this cost you? This will set you back $3.30 at the LCBO. Its alcohol by volume, ABV, is 4.9%. Didn't even reach the 5, 4.9%. And for $3.30, you'll get a 473 milliliter can. And that's what I have to say about Naughty Neighbor American Pale Ale. Check out What Are You Drinking on TikTok at What Are You Drinking 0. Remember, the R is the letter R. 0 is the number 0. What Are You Drinking 0. I'm Raquel Richards. Thanks for sipping with me here on What Are You Drinking. Until next time, cheers.